Well, we're here with Natalie O'Mara. How are you getting on, Natalie?
Not too bad. Hello, everybody.
You're, of course, a local singer here in Inishowen. You're partly from England, aren't you? Tell us a wee bit about your background there, Natalie.
Okay, so my mother's originally from here in Carndona and my dad's Tipperary. We were raised in London, moved to Cheltenham, had a little spell in France, and then I moved back over here to all the family. Here's always home. And I'm just going to tell you a bit about my latest experience in New Zealand.
Very good. Great to see you here. And you were in New Zealand there for a month, wasn't it? You were doing a few gigs all over the place there. Tell us a little bit about that then.
So I was very, very fortunate to be part of Rhythms of Ireland. And it's an Irish dancing show. We travelled all around the south and the North Island of New Zealand. We started off in Dunedin and travelled to Invercargill. Oh God, I'm not going to pronounce these names correctly. We went all over the coast of the south coast. We got the boat across to Wellington, had great big shows there. Christchurch, so I was in the South Island again, another big city. So the biggest cities we did were Christchurch, Wellington and Auckland, then in the North Island.
They're all the major cities then, really, aren't they?
Yeah, so the capital, I believe I'm saying this right, the capital is Auckland, but the biggest is Wellington.
Right, okay,
I could be completely wrong. Any Kiwis are going to kill me.
I think you're right there. I'd be pretty good at geography. I think you're right.
But you know what? Even in this is what I found amazing. Even in the small towns we went to, there was a massive, massive Irish community with music. They absolutely loved the traditional music. We had some fabulous musicians on the tour with us. My partner musician on the tour, David Delaney, he is living in South Africa. He's originally from Waterford. Cool. And he plays every instrument fantastically. So I just had my guitar and a mic, so I was
you were happy out, eh?
But we also had a ballroom player on the tour as well, and he's actually from the US. He's actually studying Celtic studies in Maynooth. Right, so it just goes to show all over the world how people really do love the Irish music and Irish culture and Irish dancing. Yeah. On this particular tour, we had people from Canada, we had a lot of Kiwis, we had people from Australia, from Manchester, Guildford, Essex, and there was a girl from Belfast. I think that was all the countries we covered. But it just goes to show on this tour, and we got so close. And I don't know, was it the different age ranges, the different experience? It was my first tour. That we all came together. There was no cliques or anything. We were just, by the end of it, we were just like a family leaving. It was very, very emotional leaving everybody.
Well, that's the way you want it, isn't it? The lesser cliques, the better.
Exactly. And it really, really was. It was such a special time. And the good thing about this particular tour, because my sister has toured previously, she's a professional singer in Killarney. Wow. Previous tours, she's been on herself. You're doing show, and you don't get any time to go and explore the places that you are in because you may need to, you literally do a show, you're on a bus. For instance, if you go around America, show, bus, you may 7, 8 more on the bus to travel to your next venue. So you may not get the time to go and, explore the place and appreciate, where you are. But on this particular tour, and such a beautiful, beautiful country and beautiful people as well, I have to say. We did, so for instance, we may have 2 tours and then we would have a couple of days off. So we got to, for instance, when we landed, we had Dunedin and Invercargill, and we had a day off then, and we went to Bluff, which is the very, very south of New Zealand. So we're able to say that we'd been to the most southerly point of New Zealand. So it was just beautiful. It's, in so many ways, it's very, very much like here. In fact, I would just want to make friends with the bus driver, so I would plank myself up beside them.
Sounds great,
because I wanted to hear, they're used to doing bus tours, so they know history and culture, and they would have, any famous things in a particular town, they would be able to tell me, and I just loved hearing all of that.
Exactly.
So I would sit there and I would just say to them, I said, this is so much like where I am from, because it would be like here when you're...
You do hear it's very like Ireland,
So like, there's more sheep and there's more cattle. My uncles didn't like me telling them that. But it's just very hilly, and there's a lot of forestry. But a beautiful country, absolutely beautiful people. I think that's why I settled so much there, because the hospitality and how friendly and accepting, and I just can't say enough about the people. They are absolutely beautiful, and they just thrived off the show. They were clapping, stamping their feet, and that's the other end of the world. So it just goes to show in little old Ireland, we are having a
That's
major effect.
Oh, that's it. You know, everybody loves the Irish, you know, so.
And they really, really do.
Okay, so tell us about, have you done music for a long time? What's your history in music?
I have. So when we were raised in London, as I suppose a lot of Irish descent children in particular, my mother had us in Irish dancing, Irish storytelling, whistle, anything we could. We lived at the Hammersmith Irish Centre, absolutely lived in it. So I think that was kind of kept up even when we went to Cheltenham. We had different Irish dancing teachers that would come down. She wanted to keep, I think because we weren't in Ireland, she wanted to make sure that we were still involved very much in the Irish culture and was keeping up all, you know, the dancing and the music.
Cool.
I picked up the guitar when I was 12 and just
early starter.
And just played away by myself. So anybody who wants to pick up an instrument like that, do it, because that's all I did, and it's my best friend now.
Pays off, eh?
It does,
brilliant.
It does.
I was researching your stuff, and you do some great tunes. There was a nice song called Time. I think there was another. There's a few good tunes on there, but you tell us about what's your inspirations in music and how you come up with ideas to write songs.
Right. Okay. So my influence in terms of the genre of music, of course, Mum and Dad always had. Well, Dad had Neil Diamond and Elvis and Johnny Cash on at the background.
Of course.
But, yes, instead of kind of the Irish stuff, I started coming over here to my auntie's when I was actually 6 years of age, and I think of it by myself.
Wow.
That's how much of a torture I was to my poor mother. So she put me on a plane, let me do it. And I've been coming over to my auntie ever since. And my cousin Barney and Veronica were very, very much into their country music. So they introduced me to the Dollies and the Johnny Cash, you know, all the kind of old style. Yeah. You know, the real country stars.
That's it.
And from then, that's all we used to listen to every summer. So I would go back and all my friends would be playing the pop beats and they'd come round to my house and I'd have Garth Brooks blaring. They'd be like, what is this you've got going on? So it's kind of stemmed from there, and that's just my preference. I love all types of music, but that's kind of my go-to.
Good stuff.
So in terms of the music I write, that's always an inspiration. But for instance, the song Time, that's my two babies. So you just, do you know what? Yeah. I think it depends. I think you write the best music when something is going on in your life. It can be really positive. It can be sometimes a bit not negative, but it can be emotional. Do you know what I mean?
That's definitely music is the medication for all emotion, really, isn't it?
Really,
you know what I mean?
It really, really is. So, I wrote that particular song about the two babies. I'm just wanting to make something of myself for them, as any parent does.
Absolutely.
And that one was about time's going too fast. And do you know what? There's so many parents that said, it just resonated. Even parents that their kids have grown up and they may be grandparents, they were like, does go too fast. But other songs I've written, it's just what happens day to day life, and it can be any experience. And sometimes I sit down with a piece of paper, no words or lyrics comes to me, and then other times just flies out. Do you know what I mean? And then an hour and you can have something written, and it can be some way deep.
Something special. A lot of the time it can just be something special out of the blue, it's unbelievable. So who would be you were saying, actually, let's go back to New Zealand here, actually. You were saying you were performing on the same stage as Sheryl Crow had performed on.
Yes.
That was a big deal for you, probably, as a big fan in the past.
Yeah, absolutely, it really was. So I'd say the most I've ever played to is in a small bar with maybe 50 people. Yeah. Do you know, after a few drinks, so you don't really take that all in. So they're going on stage to 1,200 up to 1,700 for some of the bigger venues. Thank God for lighting, so I didn't have to see everybody that was in front of me, because I probably would have.
That always helps, the good lighting. Yeah.
So to perform on a stage of that magnitude was amazing. And to take kind of, when you're up there and you're like, my God, you have this one spotlight on you, your voice is the only thing anyone can hear.
That's it, something special there,
and
like,
at that moment,
and your voice is something special as well, as we all hear when I play your tunes on this show, so.
But it was, do you know what, sometimes you're allowed to let yourself kind of feel like a superstar, and I have to say, when you're on stage and you've got a light on you and everyone's listening to you, you do kind of think, oh my God, they're actually listening to me. But there was one particular time we did go to Auckland, and it was a Sunday night, just random, and the cast and myself, we just went for a few drinks, and this band came on and I was just listening to them, and they sounded like kind of a Chris Stapleton vibe, which I adore. So I couldn't believe it, so of course I planked myself up beside them and I said, right, listen to you all night. So the night went on anyway, and of course Natalie thought she'd be the big one, and said, jumped up, and well, the cast actually, they were like, yeah, go on up and sing a song. It was one of our last nights. So we got up, and I just played the first thing that came to my head, which is Applejack. Well, so this is the middle of New Zealand. Nobody really knows, you know, country songs as it is, especially like old ones like that. And the place just lifted, absolutely lifted. Wow. But do you know when you can sometimes watch festivals, for instance, and I think anybody into their music, maybe they're thinking, my God, one day wouldn't it be fantastic to have a crowd singing back to you or shouting your name or something? Never have I felt like, oh, it was the most amazing moment just to be stood there and everybody like cheering and screaming and singing along.
But that's a wonderful thing you got to experience that, and you deserve to experience a lot more of that, I think, in the future, because you're a good talent. But anyway, Natalie O'Mara, everyone here, this will be seen on YouTube, my CKTV YouTube channel, and also Celtic Radio. So we're hoping to have that on, and within the next week we'll have you on them things. Perfect. So that'll be great. Great to see you, Natalie.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Cool. And all the best, and have a great time, whatever you're doing now in the near future.
Thank
all right.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
All
everybody.
the best, Natalie. Good luck. Bye bye.
Bye.